Hey guys, Rugby League Roundup back here with another episode of the Beyond the Tryline podcast. Today is episode 13 and we review the 2025 season of the Penrith Panthers. I just want to say thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so let's keep pushing. But without further ado, let's get into the video. As we always do, we compare the 2024 season to the 2025 season. In 2024, they won the grand final and finished in second position with 17 wins and 7 losses, as well as scoring 580 points and having the best defence in the competition, conceding 394 points. 2025, they started slow, but at the back half of the season, they ended strong, finishing in 7th position, which was 5 positions lower than they did in 2024, with 13 wins and 10 losses. And they scored 576 points, which was similar, but 4 points less than they scored the year before. But the defence was the big factor, where they conceded 469 points, which was 75 more than they conceded in 2024. We just compared the seasons, but now it's time to go through the attack and defence stats for the Penrith Panthers. We start with the attack, where they scored 24.4 points per game, which finished in 7th, as well as 5.4 line breaks per game, which finished in 3rd, with 34 tackle breaks per game, which finished in 5th. But the stat that really stands out here is the run meters per game, with 1,773 run meters per game, finishing in 1st place. The offloads, with 9.4, finished in 10th. They had the 6th most errors in the comp, with 11.2. But they ended off with 81.3% completion rate, which was the 3rd best in the competition. So overall, the attacking stats of the Panthers were great. Now, let's move on to the defense stats. Now, not only was the attack good for the Panthers, but the defense was good as well, with 19.5 points conceded per game, which was the 3rd best defense in the comp. But their missed tackles was 35.6, which would have hurt them a bit because that was the 3rd most. Penalties conceded 5.4, which finished in 10th. And they had 7 sin bins. So no, overall, pretty decent. And a lot of teams have had 7 sin bins, which I'm starting to find out. It might be a bit of a script from the NRL to get 7 sin bins per team. But overall, the defence from Panthers was good. And yeah, they're going to be another huge threat in 2026. The first player we review is the leader of the forward pack, in my opinion, Moses Leota, with 26 NRL games this season, which is the most for the Penrith Panthers, tied with Lindsay Smith. He also tackled at 95% efficiency with 104 run meters per game. So for me, I'm going to go with a pass for Moses Leota's 2025 season. Moving on to the other front rower from the Penrith Panthers, Lindsay Smith. And this guy really stepped up this year with 26 games, and his work rate was immense with 115 run meters per game, as well as a 96% tackle efficiency. Not only that, but he could score tries too, with 4 tries in the 2025 season. For me, I'm going to give Lindsay Smith a pass mark. A player who in my opinion had a much better season than he did the year before, Isaac Tungal, with 25 games, 7 tries and 4 try assists. He tackled at 89% efficiency in the centres, which is actually good for a centre, and especially defensively, that's one of the better stats. And also, he averaged 125 run meters per game. So for me, it's quite easy to give Isaac Tungal a pass for 2025. Young gun Casey McLean played 24 games this year, in 2025, scoring 16 tries and getting 11 try assists. This guy was pretty much up there with all the rookies, but unfortunately played too much games where he couldn't win Rookie of the Year, but definitely one of the better young players coming into first grade in 2025. So for me, it's a pass mark. He also tackled at 83% tackle efficiency and ran for 123 run meters per game. So for me, pass mark for Casey McLean. After a few hit and miss seasons at the Tigers, second rower Isaiah Papali'i really came back to his prime form from when he was at Para, but this time in Penrith Panthers colours. Playing 23 games, scoring 7 tries, he averages 120 run meters and he had 93% tackle efficiency. For me, this was by far Isaiah Papali'i's best season since 2022. Prop. Liam Henry managed to play 23 games in 2025, as well as scoring 3 tries. But that didn't really stand out to me. What stood out to me was his work rate and his effort in every single game, with a 96% tackle efficiency and 97 run meters per game. Liam Henry is a solid forward who works hard for his team, and for me, that requires a pass, because he just does the most for Panthers when he's on the field. So, pass mark for Liam Henry, and all the best in 2026. Luke Garner, 23 games, 5 tries, 4 try assists. But the best thing for me is his versatility and his ability to play in any position, whether that's lock or second rower or in the centres even. He can play in those sort of positions and play a good role, and he's always really consistent when he plays. He also averages 88 run meters as well as a 91% tackle efficiency. So for me, I'm going to give Luke Garner a pass mark, as I think he was pretty consistent in 2025. Best halfback in the NRL. Cleary was influential in giving his side a top 8 run at the back end of the 2025 season. For half the season, Panthers were out, and I mean really out. They were at the bottom of the ladder for the good, at least a good chunk of 12 rounds there. And when Nathan Cleary decided to become this super player again, really ignited Penrith's whole side, and yeah, they played off the back of him, and they played really well. We had 6 tries and 20 tries. He's that influential, and there's a reason why he's the best halfback in the NRL. He's won multiple halfback of the years. Now all that's left for him to achieve is the player of the year, and I think that's something that he will accomplish soon. But I'm sure that he's not going to be happy with finishing in the prelim finals. He's going to be trying to push his team for the grand final next year and probably a win. So for me, Nathan Cleary gets a pass mark, and I think he'll have a way better 2026, which says a lot. Hooker Mitch Kenny played 22 games, scoring 3 tries. But that doesn't really impress me. What impresses me from Mitch Kenny is his line speed and his ability to rush teams and rush their attack and make rush decisions, which forces errors out of teams. His line speed is probably the best I've seen from any hooker in the NRL. He's up there with Harry Grant, and what a great player. His defense is also amazing with a 93% tackle efficiency. So for me, Mitch Kenny makes a great impact for the Penrith Panthers and does a role that goes quite unnoticed. So for me, pass mark. Blaze Talangi. In his first season at Penrith Panthers, I thought he was pretty solid. He had a quiet start to the year, and his defense can be fixed, where he missed 107 tackles, but his attacking side of the game is brilliant, and I think if he can just work on his defense, that'll be fine, and he'll be a great player in future years. He already is very solid, just needs to improve on that aspect of the game instead of just focusing mainly on the attack, because he still played well. He scored 6 tries, and he had 13 try assists, as well as 88 run meters. If he can just get that defense right, he's going to be a superstar, trust me. For me, pass mark for Blaze Talangi. Origin rep forward. His position is back rower, Liam Martin. He's always really consistent every year. He tackled at 89% tackle efficiency. He had 80 run meters per game, and he scored 5 tries. But for me, his work rate is what makes him stand out. And some of the big hits he pulls off is pretty good to see. So for me, I'm going to give Liam Martin a pass. He's always super consistent. Yo, what a legend he is. In 2025, he did become the most capped Penrith Panthers player, playing about 260 NRL first grade games for the Panthers, which is the most in the club's history. So good on him. He is a legend now. He's won multiple premierships there. He's led him to so much success, and he's always Mr. Consistent with 126 run meters. He scored a try, and he had 3 try assists, but always his tackle efficiency is super solid with a 97% tackle efficiency. So for me, Isaiah Yeo gets a pass mark for 2025. Now that didn't sign till late January, Thomas Jenkins. I mean, he was he was playing for St. Mary's, and then he got signed by Panthers, which signalled his return, as he was at the Knights the year before, but joined from Panthers then. He did play 21 games, which was super good, and he also scored 13 tries with 150 run meters, as well as 6 try assists. So for me, definitely a pass mark for Thomas Jenkins. He had a much better year. Brad Schneider, a very decent backup option. He's now off to the Dolphins now, but whenever he was at Panthers, he was always pretty decent. He scored 2 tries and had 5 try assists, as well as a 90% tackle efficiency. There's not much to go on about Brad Schneider, but when he filled in, he did his job well. So for me, pass mark. Dylan Edwards, the fullback, super consistent on the attacking side as always. He had 20 games under his belt with 6 tries and 16 try assists. He also averaged 219 run meters, but his defense in 2025 was the big worry. Something that's never really been a problem with Dylan Edwards all of a sudden turned into this huge problem with a 73% tackle efficiency, where the year before he had 84%. So something really dropped off in 2025 when it came to defense, whether it was technique or the start to the season where they struggled. That definitely is going to need fixing in 2026, but I'm going to give him a pass mark just because of how influential he is on the attacking side. Paul Alamotti, one of my favourite Panthers players to watch, and 2025 was his best year yet. I think he's going to be a great player in future years. I have him as one of the best wingers in the next few years if he just keeps on developing his game. He's not quite there yet, but he's definitely getting there, and he scored 17 tries in 2025. He had 150 run meters per game, and he tackled at 89%. So Paul Alamotti had a very good year, and 2025 is definitely a pass. Scott Sorensen. Now, Scott Sorensen didn't play as many games in 2025, and he didn't do awful. I think he just did his job. He just did what was required of him. He scored 3 tries, got 2 try assists. He averaged 72 run meters, and he tackled at 93%. So for me, I'm going to give him a pass mark. I think there's definitely been better seasons of Scott Sorensen, but without the injuries, it probably is a better season. So for me, I'm going to give him a pass mark in 2025. Now, the most enjoyable winger in the NRL to watch, Brian To'o. I think he played about 16 games. He had 8 tries and he averaged 202 run meters per game. But his evasiveness, the amount of tackle breaks he makes, the running meters, it's just so good, and he has so much impact on that side. And for me, it's going to be quite easy, and I'm going to give him a pass mark for 2025. Luron Patea was good off the bench. I think he's going to be a great player. 60 run meters off the bench, 95% tackle efficiency, and I think he scored 2 tries in his first year. So I think he's going to be a solid player, and I'm going to give him a pass for 2025 in hopes that he will have an even better 2026. Now, this is going to end off on quite a sad note because this is where I'm going to give my first fail of the video with the last player I review. And I don't mean it in any sort of disrespect or anything, because I respect what the footy players do. I've seen from my perspective what they put themselves through, what training they go through. But Matt Eisenhuth, I'm going to have to give a fail, because while defensively he's great with a 96% tackle efficiency, it's the run meters and he just doesn't really offer anything in the attack. He averages 37 run meters, and when he's starting, he only averages about 60. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give him a fail, but I think he has been a good player in the past and has the ability to have a better season. On to our player movements for the 2026 season. We start with the signings for the Penrith Panthers, where they get Tom Arley on a 1-year deal from the Warriors. Jack Cogger re-signs to the Panthers after a stint at Newcastle until 2028. Kalani Going from the Warriors as well signs on a 1-year deal, as well as Freddie Lussick from the New Zealand Warriors on a 1-year deal. So they like to get the Warriors players, I see. Now, in 2026, this is who they've lost for the season. David Farley to the Dragons. Maverick Guy has gone to Tigers. Asu Kepa-Oa to the Newcastle Knights. Zach Lamont goes to Brisbane. Dane Laurie goes to Canberra Raiders. Zach Lipowich to the Catalans Dragons. Sonny Luke to the Cowboys. Riley Price to the Redcliffe Dolphins. Brad Schneider to the Redcliffe Dolphins. Luke Summerton to the Gold Coast Titans. And Trent Toliau to Melbourne Storm. And they've also re-signed Paul Alamotti on a 2-year deal until the end of 2027. We have to do the final awards and then the conclusion of the video. So for the final awards, the best win of the 2025 season was in round 17 against the Bulldogs, where the Panthers won 8-6. For me, this is what really kick-started their run towards the finals, towards making the finals, and it was a big momentum shift for the Panthers. But their worst loss was the heartbreak against the Raiders. I think it was in Mudgee, where they lost 20-16 in round 25. Nathan Cleary obviously goes to kick the field goal, hits the post, and then Raiders run the whole length of the field and score to win the game. So for me, that's their worst loss. I would be freaking broken if that happened. The Rookie of the Year, though, Luron Pataya, definitely. See big potential in him. He can do so much for Panthers in the future. He's going to be a huge forward for them. Their best player, in my opinion, is going to go to Nathan Cleary. I think he was obviously the most influential player towards their run in the back end of the season, towards the finals. And the hardest worker is Lindsay Smith. The amount of work he put in 2025, he really stepped up another level after James Fisher-Harris has left. So for me, those are my awards. To conclude the Panthers season, I think it was a tale of two halves. One half of the season, not great at all. The back end was super excellent. So if Panthers can get off to an amazing start and keep it that way like they usually do, they might win the grand final come 2026. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was another episode of the Beyond the Tryline podcast, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.